Hey everybody, RockPaperMario here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Yellow, the Pikachu solo run. Now in the last part I skipped these Hello? Oh no, I was wondering, I was just gonna say oh, I skipped these trainers, and then they don't want to fight me at all. So I think for the sake of experience, I might as well kick off this video with fighting these guys. I'm gonna want to fight every trainer that I can anyway, that kind of way, so why not? Now, this last weekend, today is Monday, and over the weekend, is when this LP started going out, when the videos, when part 1 and 2 went out, and part 3 is going up in about 2 minutes right now, so it's 12:58 on Monday, the whatever date this is, and I just wanted to thank you guys so much for all the views, the likes, the comments over the weekend on the first 2 videos in this LP. It seems like you guys are just as interested in it. She's trading for love, don't bother me. I wonder if, I always wondered whether, these two, or, whether, does she have, Nidorans? Or does she have Pidgey? No, Cubone, what? I don't remember her having Cubone. At least we have Seismic Toss. I can just picture a Pikachu grabbing onto a Cubone. And, in the anime, Charizard used to fly up into the air. Oh my god, that's dangerous. This thing's level 20 as well. Oh my god. This is actually the most threatening battle I've ever been in with this Cubone. It just goes to show how delicate Pikachu is once there's a ground move in the mix. My textbook never... Yeah, your textbook never prepared you for a Pikachu that was gonna kick your ass. I'm doing this out of love. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, da-da-da, leave me alone. There's this song, that guy who won the Eurovision in, what is it, 2009? No, not 2000, yeah, 2009, that guy who, Alexander Rybak, who did Fairy Tale for Norway. Wonder which would do more. Probably Seismic Toss, since a Weeping Bell is resistance against electric attacks. Vine Whip, that's gonna do a lot of damage, there we go. Doesn't Vine Whip have oh no, that's Razor Leaf has an high critical hit rate or whatever. Vine Whip is just one of those forgotten moves. Vine Whip was all that in Generation 1 because there weren't that many moves. And then as more and more and more moves are developed and invented, no, this can't be. Vine Whip just ended up being tossed by the wayside, I suppose. There are a couple of moves like that, really, that just aren't really employed that much anymore. Pokemon don't really learn them that much anymore, just because there are so many other moves. I've got to heal up all over again. I'm not even going to bother going through Diglett Tunnel, because there are no trainers there for experience. All that are in there are Diglett. I come out the other end, and all that's there is that trade that you can do for the Mr. Mime, which I'm not able to do. And the guy who'll give you the Flash HM, which I can't do either, because because I don't have enough Pokemon on my Pokedex to get it. So I suppose... Oh, there's Officer Jenny. I just caught a Squirtle that was always getting into mischief. I think it needs a good trainer to set it straight. Yeah, she's not going to give it to us, though, until we beat Lieutenant Surge. I might as well go in. Isn't this where the guy is that gives you the... Oh, that's the guy with the old rod. I don't need that old man's rod. What I want is the bicycle ticket, so that when I go back to Cerulean City to go to the Rock Tunnel, I can just go and get the bicycle. Oh, this is all. I always thought this was really cute, the way Pikachu goes over to the Clefairy. Clefairy, actually, is one of those Pokemon that... wasn't Clefairy supposed to be the mascot for Pokemon, and then Pikachu was never intended to be the... Look how joyous Pikachu is, okay, you got excited by that Clefairy. Pikachu, as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, well, this guy is being all crazy when it comes to his Rapidash. Yeah, I heard you came to hear you brag about it. Listen up. My favorite Rapidash. Cute, lovely, smart, plus amazing. You think so? Oh yes, it is stunning. Kindly love it. Such hug it much when sleeping, warm and cuddly. Spectacular, ravishing. Oops, look at the time, I kept you too long. Thanks for hearing me out. But yeah, Pikachu, as far as I know, historically, Pikachu wasn't supposed to be like the ridiculously popular mascot Pikachu turned out to be. Like, wasn't Clefairy supposed to be the Pokemon mascot? Like, not Pikachu. And that's kind of reflected in, we have all those trainers over there as well that we can battle. We'll do that later. I think I want to kind of get started on the SSN here. Oh, sorry, guy. And you just like walk into you. Time to flash this sailor. Hello, sailor. We'll like breeze through this place anyway, seeing as so many of them have like shelters and tentacles and stuff. The passengers are restless. You might be challenged by the more bored ones. The more bored ones aboard? I always kind of go over to the left here and start. Well, I could go up here. I don't really want to miss out on anything, you see. See, isn't this the way to the end? Pretty sure that's like the way to the end. I don't want to go to the end yet. I'll go up here and I'll start here on the bow of the ship. Aren't you a trainer? He even teaches cut to Pokemon. But yeah, and like that's why you'll see like Clefairy and a lot of like the original advertisements for Pokemon and stuff like that, and why they make such a big deal out of Clefairy is because Clefairy was originally supposed to be the mascot of the series. And something like I was thinking about at the weekend as well, which is like Poliwhirl. Like Poliwhirl is another Pokemon like that for some reason appears in a lot of the promotional material and advertising and logos and things like that. And even like in the cereal, like I remember in the Pokemon cereal, which if you guys don't remember the Pokemon cereal, it was pretty much like Lucky Charms, where you had like cereal, but then you had like these marshmallow bits, and there was like Ditto, Oddish, Pikachu, and Poliwhirl. And like Poliwhirl, like I remember Poliwhirl appearing in like a lot of the promotional material for some reason. And I'm wondering whether there isn't like some story behind that as well. Like there is with Clefairy, like the fact that like maybe Poliwhirl was supposed to be more of an important Pokemon than it turned out being. Yeah, the ship will be departing soon. The SSN was always kind of a sad area, in my opinion. Like, I mean, like, it's a party ship, like it's a big cruise ship that just goes around with parties on it, taking place on it all the time. But like with parties taking place on it all the time, but by the time you get there, it's all like quietened down and they're all making ready to leave again. And I don't know, it's just a little bit sad, I suppose. It's just, I don't know, a little bit melancholy. And the music as well, I think the music is like a big part of that emotion coming across. Is because the music on the SSN is just so kind of, like, it's not celebratory or anything like that. It's just there, you know, and it's actually a little bit plaintive if you listen to it. Like, and you especially notice it if you, like, do you know, like Generation 3 in Ruby and Sapphire, like if you go to the, you're not even a trainer. That's not even a real baby. Yeah, you feel ill. Well, then you should go over here to, like, face the edge and puke your guts out is what you have to do. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, if you go to, like, in Generation 3 in Slateport City, that's a luxury liner. Like, if you go to the museum, like the ship museum or whatever it's called, or like the shipyard place, time to go and get that secret that everyone knows about. I remember, like, this was such a big deal. Yeah, well, you peel the Great Ball, because there's a Great Ball in one of these, isn't there? Yeah, see? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Snorlax. Yeah, I've heard about Snorlax. I don't think any of these chefs are trainers. They're too busy. Well, you shouldn't be as busy anymore. The party's over. An oddball and trash. I guess that's how you find out about it. But the thing is, like, everybody, that was, like, the secret that everybody knew about. And I remember, like, I actually had, like, a guidebook to Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. But the guidebook that I had wasn't an official guidebook at all. It was like, oh, this is the guy that's actually after Team Rocket. He's on the trail of Team Rocket. Like, why are you telling me that? I'm just some kid. I'm gonna end up doing your job anyway, so I suppose you might as well tell me. I collected these Pokemon from all around the world. But yeah, if you go to like the ship place in Slateport City, the museum, it's actually a remix of the SS Anne music that plays in there, but it's really slow. It's like a really slow, sad remix of the SS Anne music. And I always really liked that remix that's in Red, Ruby and Sapphire. Like, the fact of the matter is, though, that like Ruby and Sapphire have my favorite soundtrack of any of the generations. I just think they're so good. I'm gonna use a seismic toss on you. Can't be using Thunderbolt and everything. The viewers are gonna start getting bored, Pikachu. I'm after getting so used to calling him Pikachu now, I can't like rename him at this stage. He's just Pikachu, and I'm Harry, and this is a hamburger, and this is the Eiffel Tower. So yeah, I think in like this recording session, I'm not going to record too much. I think I'm like going to do the SS Anne and maybe fight Lieutenant Surge, since like Lieutenant Surge, like that gym will take like all of like 2 minutes to do. Not really that bothered by it. Yeah, I do love Pokemon. So yeah, I wonder whether like Poliwhirl was supposed to be more important than Poliwhirl ended up being. Like, if anyone knows about that, because there's always someone who knows more about this stuff than I do. Like, because I remember like that, the logo, like the official Pokemon logo or whatever it is, or there's some logo anyway, some emblem. And I remember that I'm pretty sure it's like Pikachu, Clefairy, and Poliwhirl are the 3 Pokemon that are on it. Correct me if, as I say, correct me if I'm wrong. TM08, I'm pretty sure that's Body Slam. We're cruising around the world. We've got a nice little threesome set up in here. Well, actually a quadrupsum. A 4-way. A cruise is so elegant yet cozy. Another jig. Oh no, that's a Wigglytuff. I remember those SS Anne episodes of, well, no, there's Battle aboard the SS Anne. Do you remember that episode of the cartoon? What episode of the cartoon? Cherry Pie. What about a watermelon? Fresh from the manure fields, your sporkiness. The episode I watched at the weekend, I watched that episode Fit to Be Tied, which is like I remember that was one of my favorite episodes of all time. It's from the Orange Islands, and it's like the first gym battle in the Orange Islands. Where like he has like the water gun shooting battle against the Seadra. That's one of the reasons, obviously, why I was so enamored with that episode, was just because Seadra was in it, and Seadra is such a cool Pokemon. And I remember I used to argue, like, I remember there were like these Pokemon cards. Did I talk about this already? There were like these Pokemon cards that I used to get, that everyone used to get in trade, and they were like Topps Pokemon cards. They weren't like the battling trading cards from the game. They were just like trading cards based on the cartoon, and they had like the official artwork of the Pokemon on them. And like I remember on like the one for Seadra, like they used to have like a little thing on the back, like saying like which episode this Pokemon was encountered in first. I remember for Seadra, it said like Ash hasn't encountered a Seadra on his journey yet. And I remember by the time those cards came out over here, like those episodes had aired, the Orange Island ones. I remember being in 3rd class and telling somebody, I was like making this big deal out of the fact that like the card said that he hasn't encountered one yet, but he actually has in that episode on the Orange Islands or whatever. And I remember making such a big deal out of it, and it's really like nothing, you know, that kind of way, making a big deal out of like the card not being up to date with the anime canon. It's like, you're 9 years old, stop being bothered by things like that. I can't believe Pikachu's already level 31. Pikachu is like a monster. It's making me think of like that episode of Malcolm in the Middle where they keep feeding the rabbit, like they're trying to make the rabbit the heaviest rabbit in the world or something, and it turns into like this, it ends up being this monstrosity. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end off this video here because we're up about 15 minutes. In between videos, I'm going to head back to shore, heal up, and I'll meet you right back here. So thanks a million for watching this part of the Pikachu solo run. See you next time. Bye now.